The Bread, Wine, and Blues Band. Homegrown beach music. The soul of beach music. Sandy beach music.
Now look here, honey, I got all this money, so let's me and you go down to Mexico. We'll find us a haystack, a little place we can lay back, a bottle of red wine, a whole lot of sunshine.
Bread, Wine, and Blues Band. Sandy Beach. Reverend Bubba Deliverance and the Cornhole Prophets are road-tested and shag-tested with more than a dozen hits. Tender Moment waiting for you. That's what you do. Mo Better, Shagland. Why you want to go and do that? Cool with me. Sweet Potato Pie. Here I stand. Almost Mine. If you can't shag. And now, Be My Sugar.
Come on and be my sugar. Come on, honey, would you? You know I'm gonna treat you right.
Join the boss this Saturday, August 25th, as we broadcast live during Beach Blast in downtown Kings Mountain. We'll be there from 12 noon till 3 p.m. with our live radio broadcast brought to you by West End Bobcat on Highway 18 North in Vale, by Hometown Hardware downtown Kings Mountain, by Ronaldo Kia on Highway 74 East in Shelby, by Ingram's Barbershop on South Battleground Avenue, Kings Mountain, by Parker Farm Toro, Bessie Drive, Kings Mountain, by Just in Time Plumbing in Kings Mountain, by Kings Mountain Gateway on South Battleground Avenue, Kings Mountain, by West End Motorcycles and ATV on Highway 18 North in Vale, by Love's Fish Box on Shelby Road in Kings Mountain, by Ronaldo Buick on Highway 74 East in Shelby, by Sism & Sons Paint and Body Shop on Shelby Road, Kings Mountain, and by Trackside Trader on South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain. So join us this Saturday for free summer fun for everyone during Beach Blast 2018, 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. downtown Kings Mountain at Patriots Park.
They've got them all. At Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, they've got Fords, Chevrolets, Buicks, Toyotas, Nissans, Hondas, Kias, GMC trucks, and more. What are we talking about? We're talking about the huge used car selection at Renato Auto Mall. Before you buy, come see Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And they are now your SUV headquarters. Over 50 to choose from, new and used. All makes, all models, and 10 to choose from, priced at under $10,000 at Renato Auto Mall. 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
We should see partly to mostly sunny skies as we head through the afternoon. We'll be warm and a little less humid than yesterday, with just a slight chance of an afternoon or early evening thundershower. Highs will reach about 82 to 88. Tonight, some evening cloudiness. After that, a clearing trend with lows in the upper 50s to mid-60s. A front moving away to our south Thursday will leave us mainly sunny and cooler behind it, with pleasantly low humidity. Our highs tomorrow in the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Currently at the Big Old Country Studios, it's 4:05.
For over 25 years, Moss Realty has been serving clients in Gaston and surrounding counties. Their realtors know the area, not just from maps and pictures, but from living and working in the community. From Belmont to Kings Mountain, Lincolnton to Clover, and more, the hometown specialists at Moss Realty want you to be their neighbors.
Hi, I'm Warren Moss. Whether you're buying or selling your home in Gaston County, call one of the professionals at Moss Realty or visit us online at mossrealty.com. Moss Realty, your hometown specialist.
They've got them all. At Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, they've got Fords, Chevrolets, Buicks, Toyotas, Nissans, Hondas, Kias, GMC trucks, and more. What are we talking about? We're talking about the huge used car selection at Renato Auto Mall. Before you buy, come see Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And they are now your SUV headquarters. Over 50 to choose from, new and used. All makes, all models, and 10 to choose from, priced at under $10,000 at Renato Auto Mall. 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
Welcome back to high school football. I got high school football in my mind, Kenny. Tim Johnson, Ken Link right here on WCSL 1590 on your AM station, 92.3 on the FM station. And I tell you, folks, we have got a lot of great sports for you today. And actually, we got some high school football, Ken. We're going to kick things off right here on WCSL on the Best in Sports.
Yeah, we'll talk some football and some other sports. But high school football season did get underway last weekend. Actually started last Wednesday with Shelby taking off Freedom in a game that was played on Wednesday instead of Friday because of the American Legion World Series in Shelby. But Tim, our Cherryville Ironman with a big road win over Bessemer City, 17-14, as they opened the season last week.
Absolutely. Coach Tim Pruitt, the guys up there at Cherryville went to you go to Bessemer City. Is that where it was?
Yeah, it was at Bessemer City.
Big win for the Cherryville Ironman, Ken, there at Bessemer City High School. And Bessemer City had a really good football team last year.
Yeah, I understand talking to Kevin Hastings. He said Cherville had a few things go their way, and sometimes that's what it takes when you're on the road. And they was able to pull out with a victory, and I'm sure they're happy about starting the season that way.
Absolutely. You got to get some breaks here and there, Ken. So congratulations to the Ironmen there on the first big victory here on the WCSL, the best in sports, here at the Class at 4 studios. Tim Johnson and Kenny Link here with you live here every Wednesday. Ken, speaking of high school football, Shelby, they started off the weekend with a big win, 31-21 win over Freedom. This past week also they play AC Reynolds up in the mountains, Ken, so that ought to be a great contest. AC Reynolds, pretty good football. See you, Kevin. AC Reynolds, pretty good football team, they say, this year. And so, actually they started the football season off, Ken.
Yeah, they started Wednesday. That game was an early game, and all the other games in our area were Friday night, the normal Friday night schedule. Speaking of Cherville Ironman, they play Chase this week at home, so see if they'll be trying to get their second victory against the Chase Trojans.
So, Kevin, got a question for you. Just how good is Shelby this year? No. We get you one.
Real quick, Shelby can win the state, as always. Defense, it's all about the offense. Is that working now? Okay, now we got it. So, I just want to get on and talk real quick about our schedule for this week. Got a few changes in the notes. We've been sitting here 30 minutes. I didn't even think about it. Real quick.
We've been talking about everything.
So, no Burns this week because they got the off week, right? We've got Cherville. That is actually Chase at Cherryville,
so
not
Chase is
Cherryville
at Cherryville.
Okay. We had that backwards on our schedule. You guys, there's nothing with you guys. Shelby. Folks, if you folks want to watch the Shelby game, this will be the only game the whole year that you can't watch the Shelby game. You have to go to the stadium. AC Reynolds called and said that we cannot do video at AC Reynolds this year. They were concerned about the gate, and they want to sell some hot dogs. So Shelby fans go buy a hot dog to make that AD happy up there. That'll be Friday night. So we'll have that on radio. That'll be WHS radio. You can listen on the radio. Jeff and Ren will have the radio call for that. And you can always listen to all the games online. KDCBroadcast.com. Burns off let's see. So we got Crest, TC Roberson, Crest. That's on YouTube only. So TC Roberson, you can watch this week's game. Okay, Crest is at home. They allow video. We will have video of that. So Crest at home against TC Robertson, and then our final game. This is a special broadcast, and like I said, I don't know if it's on you guys' schedule or not. Since Burns is off this week, Carson Dockery and Jason Saint are going to head over to Kings Mountain for the South Caldwell at Kings Mountain game. That game will be on YouTube only, so you can watch Kings Mountain this week. Since Burns is off and Shelby doesn't have a video, we've put together a crew, and they're going to go over to Kings Mountain to the South Caldwell at Kings Mountain game. And, of course, our pregame and postgame shows this week are the same times, and everything's back to normal. Normal Friday beginning at 5:30 Friday, Witherspoon Insurance. Pregame show, Tim, Shelby against mediocre to good teams. Their defenses will dominate and keep them in the game. Against the better teams, Crest, Kings Mountain, and South Point playoffs, they're going to need their offense not to turn the ball over. My key I picked the other night, I said it'd be a close game. If Freedom wins, it'll be because they have two interceptions. And if Shelby wins, it's because they won the turnover battle because I thought their defense would be better. Shelby didn't turn it over any, won the game by a touchdown, and Freedom had a chance to come back and win that game and didn't. Shelby held them to -1 yard in the first half, so it's been nothing but the second half for Freedom. Good adjustment.
So, Kevin, got a question for you before you go. Crest, Shelby, Kings Mountain, which one's going to go farther in the state playoffs? We know Kings Mountain's really good. Me and Ken's talked about Kings Mountain. We know Shelby, Crest is Crest.
The 3A playoffs are way harder than the 2A. I will say that. So if you're going to put them on that, I would say Shelby. But Kings Mountain, I think Kings Mountain's got the most overall
talent,
most rounded, hard-to-guard offense in the area. They've got a pro-style offense type or position. The quarterback's good, the running back's good, the wide receivers are good. So they can do anything.
They got athletes.
They don't just run the option. They don't just pass it. They can do anything. Like, they're the hardest to prepare. South Point, they're going to run the ball. Crest, for the most part, they're going to run the ball. They will throw a little bit. Shelby's going to throw it most of the times, and they will run. Yeah. Shelby's having trouble with the running game right now. Some injuries on the line, some inexperience. So they've had some issues running. But like I said, passing wise, that's what they're going to do. Freedom's quarterback, I do want to mention that. That kid could sling the football. he was putting it in windows. You know, high school quarterbacks don't do that. if you're picking apart Shelby's defense, you're putting it in windows.
Gotcha.
He was doing real well with that. I'm sure Shelby would do some adjustments. But yeah, Kings Mountain, I think it's all. You know, they were one game from the state championship last year. Lost by 1 point, right? To I think. Was
1 point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
High Brighton beat Shelby last year.
That's right. So and here's Kings Mountain schedule coming up. Follow me. Y'all tell me when I get to an easy game, okay? South Caldwell, at TC, home against Cuthbertson, at Shelby, at Stuart Kramer, at North Gaston, home against Huss.
Wow.
That's every one of those is a potential playoff team.
Yes.
Then after Huss, you got Ashbrook, at Burns, at Forest View, who just beat East Lincoln pretty badly, and then finish with Crest. So Kings Mountain, they got a tough road to hoe, but maybe they can. I think a big thing, they don't even need him. This is how bad it is.
They'll make him better.
Their probably best wide receiver has 2 broken arms and is out 6 to 8 weeks, and they might not even need him because his little brother is just as good as him.
Wow.
And his little brother ain't little no more. He grew like 3 inches since basketball, and so I saw like he was a lot closer to my height during basketball. And we get to football, and he walked by. I said, "Was that Kobe?" They're like, "Yeah, he's grown." I was like, "Jeez!" And he caught a touchdown in that jamboree and took off. But I think Kings Mountain's the most rounded. And that's all. I just want to jump in and mention that. And I'm gonna give this to Ken. Ken, don't read this on there, but this is what I was gonna mention a minute ago. That's what I'd forgot about. In the American Legion World Series, and y'all can kind of talk about that a little bit later, maybe. About
we're gonna get on that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I have a pitch count problem in high school and Legion baseball, and it about came to a head the other night, and it would have been maybe the most travesty of all things, you know. And you had a classic, a 1-0 classic anyway. Something could have the pitch count could have ruined all that. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. I gotta go pick up my children for school.
Kevin Hastings, folks.
I'll see you guys
Saturday morning
Friday
show
night.
every Saturday. You can catch him. Hunter Yancey, and of course the man himself, Terry Reinhardt, Carson Dockery.
Right,
so
5:30 to 7 on Friday nights. Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Ken and Tim pick up at 6:30. You can tune on them on
That's
WLON.
Terry Reinhardt and Carson
Dockery, and Shannon Allen.
Shannon, yep, good people.
And then the postgame show, of course, 10 to midnight, folks. Thank you. I'm gonna go. That's the update.
Thanks,
y'all. Have a good day.
All right, buddy. Thank you a lot. Kevin Hastings, our folks. KTC Broadcasting, the man himself. All right, Kenny. You'd like to say Crest defeated South Point 28-11. South Point plays Lincoln this week. Oh, my gosh, Ken. We'll be there, and we'll be bringing that game live in South Point in the press box. Kenny, I tell you, we saw Lincoln this past Friday night, Ken, and they got a lot of work to do.
It wasn't pretty. They got handed their football back to them by Stuart Kramer, and 44-6, and they lost big to Kramer last year. And playing at home, we expected Lincoln to have been more competitive. They made a lot of mistakes in that game, Tim. Turned it over 5 times and just weren't competitive. So they traveled over to South Point down to Belmont, and it doesn't get any easier. So
no, you're right about that.
We'll see what happens down there. Hopefully they correct some mistakes. But South Point, even though they lost a lot to graduation, we know South Point can always play ball. They've got that offense that they start.
Triple option
they start them, I think, when they come out of the crib, and they got that thing down. They know how to run it. And like I said, the Crest beat them 28-11, but I understand that ball game was closer than that. It sort of got away from them at the end.
Well, they play, speaking of South Point's offense, Ken, and they play that ever since they're in Pee-wees. I mean, they start them young in Optimus football, run the same style of offense, which is really smart by the whole entire, I guess you say, the organization there. It's an organization while it is at South Point. And so the coaches, they're all involved with the younger kids as well. So it teaches them, by the time they get to high school, all they got to do is put the best athlete in there and let them play. And so that's why South Point is so dominant. And Shelby, too. I mean, Shelby's got such a great program there, and Crest does, too. So, there's a lot of great programs out there. So Lincoln's got their hands full, Ken. They've got a lot of work to do. We're going to talk more about that too on our Friday night football show, 6:30 show, the Lincoln County High School football show.
Just speak a little bit about that South Fork 2A that Lincoln plays in. Other Lincoln County teams Friday night. West Lincoln's the only one who won of the Lincoln County teams. They won 53-0 over Drone. North Lincoln lost to Thomas Jefferson in a close game, 34-27. And East Lincoln lost to Forest View 20-7. Maiden, the favorite to win that league, beat Ford 21-6. And Newton Conover beat Bunker Hill 56-0. Bandy's beat St. Stephen's 42-28. and Lake Norman Charter lost to South Fort Christian 21-17.
Absolutely. All righty, Kenny. We're going to take a break, folks, and we got some American Legion World Series. And speaking of that, congratulations to Wilmington, Delaware, Ken. They're the American Legion World Series champions.
Yes, they are. And they're well-deserved. We'll talk about that tournament. Very interesting tournament. A lot of interesting things happen in there.
We'll be right back here on the Class of 4 Studios. Tim Johnson, Mr. Baseball himself, Kenny Ling, after these commercials right here at the Class of 4 Studios.
Whatever you got on, girl, stay in it. You ain't gotta leave the house to have a good time. I'm gonna bring the good time home to you. We'll have
proud to be live and local.
Just in touch with what's going on.
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL Cherryville.
Country Gold with Terry Clark.
I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me this week for Country Gold, where we play all your favorites from the 80s and 90s.
Country Gold with Terry Clark, Thursday afternoons 1 to 5 on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com. They've got them all. At Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, they've got Ford, Chevrolets, Buicks, Toyotas, Nissans, Hondas, Kias, GMC trucks, and more. What are we talking about? We're talking about the huge used car selection at Renato Auto Mall. Before you buy, come see Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. And they are now your SUV headquarters. Over 50 to choose from, new and used. All makes, all models, and 10 to choose from, priced at under $10,000 at Renato Auto Mall. 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
Check out the great rates at Pine Mountain Golf Course. Play and ride weekdays for only $21. Seniors play and ride weekends for just $18. Or you can play and ride all day weekdays for only $28. Seniors can play and ride all day on weekends for $25. Make your tee time today by calling 828-433-4950. You'll love this challenging 18-hole par 68 course. The Pine Mountain Golf Course, adjacent to South Mountain State Park. Again, call 828-433-4950 for your tee time. The muscadines are in at Rosedale Farms in Kings Mountain. Big, juicy, fresh pig muscadines. And while you're there at Rosedale Farms, check out local eggs, okra, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, local cantaloupes, along with jams and jellies. And now in stock, local mild and hot sausage. So hurry in now to Rosedale Farms, Shelby Highway, Highway 74 Business West in Kings Mountain, open 7 days a week. Before you buy, give Sellers Service Center in Cherryville a try. Garen and Jordan invite you to come in. Compare their services, but best of all, compare their prices. From a tune-up to an oil change. Plus, they're a North Carolina inspection station and a certified U-Haul dealer. And be sure to check their prices on your next set of tires. Sellers Service Center on the Dallas-Cherryville Highway, open 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till noon on Saturday. That's Sellers Service Center.
It's the 94th Annual Cleveland County Fair, September 27th through October 7th. This year, the Cleveland County Fair salutes our veterans, and now you can get your advance tickets at any Circle K convenience store. Entertainment includes America's Country Darlings, Jay Mattiola with his electrifying magic, Act Monsters Chainsaw Art, The Pork Chop Review, Dance Spectacular, Freestyle Madness Motorcycles, and BMX Throwdown. And of course, the Carolina Carnage Demolition Derby. For a complete listing of times and events, go to clevelandcountyfair.com. Don't miss the 94th Annual Cleveland County Fair, September 27th through October 7th.
I am a veteran. I lost both legs in Vietnam.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was getting my benefits and a good education.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. I didn't want to admit it, but I had PTSD.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding help and learning that I wasn't alone.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Cherryville Ironman Sports, right here on Big O Country, WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
WLON Radio and KTC Broadcasting would like to take this time to apologize for not being able to videocast Lincoln County High School football games again this year. The Lincoln County Athletic Directors have again voted to charge almost twice the suggested broadcast fee as set forth by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, thus making it cost prohibitive for WLON and KTC Broadcasting to videocast the Lincoln County games. Cleveland County and Gaston counties have both agreed to the suggested fee as set forth by the Athletic Association, and therefore we will continue to videocast games in Gaston and Cleveland counties. The Lincoln County games, however, will be heard on WLON 1050 AM and the new 107.5 FM, along with ktcbroadcasting.com. If you'd like to voice your concerns on the video casting, you can contact your local area high school or Lincoln County Athletic Director Dr. Aaron Allen at the office of the Lincoln County Schools at 704-732-2261. Again, we apologize for this inconvenience, and we urge you to go out and support our local student athlete.
That's right. Kevin Hastings there for you, folks, and this is WCSL 1590 right here, Class at 4 studio. Tim Johnson, Mr. Baseball, Kenny Link. And Kenny, the best in sports, and we have some American Legion World Series. First, I want to say congratulations to Wilmington, Delaware for you, Ken.
Yeah, it's a great World Series, and Wilmington, Delaware won last night in a championship game, a game that went extra innings, went 8 innings, and a big pitcher's duel, and 1-0 victory as Delaware's punched across the run in the bottom of the 8th for the walk-off win for the championship of 2018.
Yeah, I tell you, Ken, I was surprised. I thought Nevada would come up and win that. I mean, they were really hitting the ball really well, but you know, sometimes you just run across the team just a little bit better than you.
Well, both teams had good teams. I think Delaware ended up with a record of 36-4 overall, so they were good all year. Both of them had excellent pitching staffs, and both of them had excellent starting pitchers on the mound last night, and it was a pitcher's duel back and forth. Not very many scoring opportunities for either team, and Delaware batting in the bottom of the 8th. The pitcher pitching for Nevada hit the pitch count after 7 innings, and so they took him out, brought another pitcher in. Pitcher walked the leadoff batter leading off the bottom of the 8th. He would sacrifice the second on a bunt, and then the next hitter got a ground ball up the middle and went to center field. Center fielder got to it, threw the ball to the plate, but the throw was a little bit late, and the runner came sliding in head first. Delaware with the championship.
Ken, let's go to some of the teams that was there, Ken, the 8 teams in the whole entire event there, the American Legion World Series in Shelby. And we just want to say a shout-out to the whole entire city of Shelby, Ken, for putting this event on. They did a spectacular job like they do every single year, Ken, and you know as well as I do. You go there more than I do. And, I mean, the people there, the hospitality of the people there, Ken, was just first class. So I want to thank the Shelby folks there, and, of course, the people there at the stadium there at Keeter Stadium, Ken, just wonderful people there.
And many of those are volunteers, and they, like you say, it's first class all the way.
Absolutely. The 8 teams in American Legion World Series, folks, the Stripes division was Michigan, Nevada, Idaho, and North Carolina, and the Stars, Louisiana, Delaware, Iowa, and Massachusetts. So congratulations to all those teams. And like Ken said, the championship game was Delaware and Nevada, and was 1-0 in 8 innings.
Yeah,
wow.
In the Stripes division, Michigan won that division with a 3-0 record. They didn't lose, so they advanced from the Stripes division. And Nevada, Idaho, and North Carolina all had 1-2 records, Tim. But when you have a 3-way tie, you go to the tiebreaker, and the first category for tiebreaker is least amount of runs allowed, and Nevada won that easily. And so they advanced to the semifinals with a 1-2 record, which is interesting.
Absolutely.
And in the Stars division, Louisiana won that division, record of 3-0. Delaware advanced by a record of 2-1. And so you had the semifinal matchups. And in the semifinals, Tim, I want to talk a little bit about that. You talk about 2 interesting games. Delaware played Michigan in the first game. The pitcher for Delaware had a perfect game through 6 innings. Jack Dubeck had a perfect game. Nobody was 18 up, 18 down.
Wow.
Went to the bottom of the 7th, leading 4-0. He walked the first batter. Well, there's his perfect game, but he still got the no-hitter going, right? Gets the next guy out. Next guy gets a clean base hit. Well,
no hitter.
They just go no hitter. It must have upset him, Tim, because the next guy gets a double and drives in 2 runs. Okay, still only 1 out. He proceeded to hit a batter, walk another batter, forcing in the run on 4 straight pitches. That made it 4-3. And I thought the coach would come get him. He left him in, and now it's 4-3 with the bases loaded, 1 out. He throws 3 more balls. That's 7 straight balls. So the coach comes and gets him with a 3-0 count and brings another guy in. Well, the other guy threw a strike, but eventually he walked. So they walked the run in. So now it's 4-4. And, you know, the game's in jeopardy of being lost, and it's only 1 out.
The kid lost his composure.
Yeah,
he got nervous.
And the relief pitcher got 2 ground balls and got out of it. And so it ended up going 10 innings before Delaware defeated Michigan. And I'll talk about another strange play in that game. In the 8th inning, it was 2 outs. Hitter for Michigan gets a clean base hit to right field, a line shot. Right fielder gets to it quickly, and he's going to try to throw the runner out at first. Well, first base was hustling. The first baseman was over there. He got over there. The pitcher was seeing what's going on. Guess what? He goes to back up the play, so he goes down to first baseline. The umpire, seeing he's going to play, comes out from behind home plate to get in position down the first baseline.
Wow.
The pitcher and the umpire don't see each other, and they collide and go flying everywhere. I mean, they never saw each other. Big collision. And the pitcher can't continue. Got to come off the mound. He can't continue to pitch.
It sounds like to me that the umpire was out of position.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get down there to call it, and they didn't see each other. They said they didn't see it, and they just collided.
Wow.
Big collision.
And that happens. I know that.
That happened. It's not unusual to try to throw somebody out from right field on a shot out there. But what was unusual, what happened after the play, it ended up the guy was safe. But that was interesting, and he had to. He stayed in the game in another position, but evidently he got shook up where he couldn't pitch anymore. So they brought another pitcher, and eventually Delaware won that game. And Michigan had a very good team, and like I said, that was a tremendous. You go 18 up, 18 down, and then you score 4 in the bottom of the 7th and almost pulled it out. What a game. Well, that was first game. The second game, Tim, you got another no-hitter going. Nevada defeated Louisiana 6-1. Sammy Gamboa had a no-hit bid going into the 7th inning. He walked the bases loaded, still had 2 outs. With 2 outs and the bases loaded, 6 2/3 inning, he lost his no-hitter on a base hit to
now, I did hear about that.
So he lost his no-hitter bid and his shutout bid. And as Kevin Hastings said, this was a situation where he was right on the cusp of 105 pitches. And you get into a situation, what if that no-hitter was still going and he hit the limit? He'd had to come out.
He'd had to come out. Yep.
So it was interesting, but at the semifinals in both games, you had guys going into 7th inning carrying a no-hitter. So that was unusual.
That's pretty good.
Unusual. So.
Well, congratulations to Wilmington, Delaware, Ken.
Yeah, the great victory for them, and they played good the whole tournament. Is a lot of low-scoring games, Tim. We did a 1-0 game, and the first game that Delaware won, they won 3-0. A lot of good pitching in this tournament.
Yeah, real good pitching. You're right about that. And the kid from Louisiana pitched a really good game. He pitched 6 innings.
Yeah,
and they won 1-0. So he pitched outstanding game. So it was a really good defense. The shortstop Thrash.
Oh yeah, there's some great defensive plays.
Man, I tell you, he made some big time plays. The Thrash kid from Louisiana. I mean, I'm talking about some Major League Baseball plays, some backhand in the hole. That one he made down third base, between third base and short, Ken, he was almost at third base.
Oh yeah, I thought it was a ball that the third baseman almost came up with. Yes. He couldn't quite get to it. That's how deep he had to go in the hole to field it, backhanded, and throw him out. And I saw a play in the semifinals, maybe it was a championship game, one of the best plays I've ever seen, Tim. That a runner on first, and he's going with the pitch. Okay, 2 outs. And the ball's hit up the middle. Well, the shortstop was going to cover, so he was going toward the bag. So the ball was hit hard, but he dove behind the bag, stopped it, and rolled over and threw it all in one motion and got the guy at first base. That's one of the best plays I've ever seen. I mean, and I don't see how he threw it and got anything on it.
So he was on the ground, he rolled over.
Yeah, he just rolled and threw it all in one motion and got him at first. It was an unbelievable play.
It's called arm strength.
Yeah, it was.
And really good baseball player right there.
But we seen a lot of great defensive
yes,
play
we did.
out there.
We did, absolutely. And with the play at home, in center field, the kid caught the ball in center field and threw the kid out at third base. Yeah. That was a great play. And the catcher made a good play by holding on to the baseball. So, yeah, that's what it takes, pitching and defense.
Another great successful World Series at Shelby. Like I said, they are first class. They do it well. And I've told Tim this, and I've told others, if you've never gone, you need to go at least one day and see what they do at Shelby, because it's a great experience if you want to go and watch some baseball.
Did they break their attendance, Ken?
I haven't heard the figures yet. That's I don't know.
I'm sure they probably did. Because when we were there on Thursday, there was a big crowd there. Can you imagine what it's going to be like for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the rest of the week, especially the championship game? And I saw on TV last night that place was packed.
It was packed. They had a little bit of rain on Saturday, so Sunday they end up playing 4 full games and finishing the game from Saturday because of rain. But outside of that, the weather did not impact them except for that one day.
That's unbelievable, Kenny. All right, so that's American Legion baseball right there for you, Ken. Mr. Kenny Lake, Ken, it's gonna be a good while before we get some more American Legion baseball coming up. You know it, don't you?
Yeah, but I can make it. We'll be back talking about it again next year.
All right, you did a great job this year. I want you to know that on American Legion Baseball. That's Kenny Link, folks, Mr. Baseball. We'll be back after these fine commercials right here on WCSL Classic 4 Studios. Tim Johnson and Mr. Baseball, Kenny Link.
Hometown proud.
The only station I listen to.
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL Cherryville.
It's the Great Outdoors Annual Fall Sale. This weekend, August 24th and 25th, hundreds of items on sale with up to 60% in savings. See the new selection of boats, and you could win a Mossberg 930 semi-automatic, 12-gauge, 3-inch MO Bottomlands camo shotgun. A big $640 value. Come in for all the details. Plus, Outdoor Blessings will be there with food and drink. The annual fall sale this Friday and Saturday at the Great Outdoors, Highway 150 East in Cherryville, right behind McDonald's. You know, auto parts don't have to cost a fortune, especially now, because now open in Shelby, auto parts you pull. Pay a $2 admission and bring your own tools and save a fortune by pulling your own auto parts from their big auto yard. Plus, they pay top dollar for copper, aluminum, steel, cast iron, tin, brass, and cars. Call 704-482-4888 for auto parts you pull and scrap metal of Shelby. 1025 County Home Road off Highway 74 East in Shelby. Scrap hours 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 2 on Saturday. You pull hours 8 to 5, 7 days a week.
Isolated and alone?
That's how millions of Americans feel while experiencing a mental health crisis.
Need to talk? Our providers love to listen.
Call us now at 1-888-235-HOPE.
That's 1-888-235-4673.
Partners, improving lives and strengthening communities in North Carolina. 1-888-235-HOPE. 235-4673.
For 9 straight years, Ewing Insurance Agency in Gastonia has been voted the #1 insurance agency in the county. There's got to be a reason why. Ewing Insurance Agency features over 75 years of combined experience. Whether you're looking for a review of your auto or homeowner's insurance or seeking a customized business insurance package, the team at Ewing Insurance Agency is ready to tailor a plan that's right for you. Drop by their office at 1548 Union Road, Suite C in Gastonia. Visit their website at insuregaston.com. That's Ewing Insurance Agency.
Check out what the Green Meadows Golf Club on Kelly Road in Mount Holly has to offer. On Wednesday, you can play all day for $28, including cart and green fee. And ladies, Wednesday is your day too. Ladies play and ride all day for only $15. To make your tee time, call the Green Meadows Golf Club at 704-827-9264. You'll love it. The Green Meadows Golf Club, located at 957 Kelly Road in Mount Holly. Come see what they have to offer.
Today, it's all about choices. That's why, when it comes to your automobile that you depend on, you need the best choice for maintenance and work. Well, proud to say, come to the all-new Bruner's Automotive at 319 East Main Street, Cherryville. Formerly Phil Starter and Alternator Building, owner Mike Bruner can offer you expert automotive repairs and service. Right now, take advantage of his oil change special, just $30 total out the door. See or call Bruner's Automotive today. East Main Street, Cherryville, 704-923-7612. Proud to support Cherryville Ironman football. Go Ironman!
Cherryville American Legion Post 100 Baseball right here on Big O Country, WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
WLON Radio and KTC Broadcasting would like to take this time to apologize for not being able to videocast Lincoln County high school football games again this year. The Lincoln County Athletic Directors have again voted to charge almost twice the suggested broadcast fee as set forth by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, thus making it cost prohibitive for WLON and KTC Broadcasting to videocast the Lincoln County games. Cleveland County and Gaston counties have both agreed to the suggested fee as set forth by the Athletic Association, and therefore we will continue to videocast games in Gaston and Cleveland counties. The Lincoln County games, however, will be heard on WLON 1050 AM and the new 107.5 FM, along with ktcbroadcasting.com. If you'd like to voice your concerns on the video casting, you can contact your local area high school or Lincoln County Athletic Director Dr. Aaron Allen at the office of the Lincoln County Schools at 704-732-2261. Again, we apologize for this inconvenience, and we urge you to go out and support our local student athletes.
Okay, we're back here on WCSL 1590 and 93.2 FM as we are back here on a Wednesday afternoon talking a lot about sports. Tim, we talked some about the American Legion World Series that just finished, and let's turn our attention to a different kind of sport, football, and we're talking about NFL. Tim, we played 2 exhibition games. Third exhibition game is this weekend for most teams, and that's the one where you play your starters probably at least a half, maybe into the third quarter. So we'll have a better idea of what you got out of this exhibition game than probably any other one.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Ken. Like you said, this is the real deal here coming up. They'll probably play. Most of your starters play a half. Some play in the third quarter. All depends on how they play, offensively and defensively there. I heard that the Panthers, Ken, have got another offensive player. Is it Khalil?
Yeah, they've hit with a rash of injuries on that offensive line, which they really couldn't afford to have. But Matt Khalil, their left tackle, has got a knee problem. And
got it scoped from what I heard.
Yeah, he got it scoped, and he's week to week to what they said, but it doesn't sound good because it's been bothering him. A lot of fans don't think he was that great of a left tackle anyway, but you got to have somebody. The Panthers already lost Darrell Williams, the right tackle, to injury earlier in training camp, and so now they're down 2 tackles, and that was where they was the thinnest as far as depth in.
Yeah,
and so Moton, the guy who they drafted last year as a tackle, and he took over for Darrell Williams when he went down as a right tackle. Now that Khalil's down, he's going to move over to left tackle, and they got to put somebody else at right tackle. So they're scrambling as far as offensive line, and I'm sure Herney's out there looking around see if he can find somebody to pick up to help out because depth-wise they're hurting.
Yeah, they don't have the depth on offensive line, Ken.
They're okay in the interior. The center and the guards, they're okay.
But the tackles.
The tackles is where they're thin, and that's where they've got hit with the injuries.
Yeah, so hopefully they can go out there and get somebody, and they will. I'm sure Coach Rivera will do that as well. And like I say, North Turner, I mean, there's nobody – he knows offense. He's definitely just a great offensive-minded coach. He's been a head coach for so many years with San Diego and also with Washington Redskins too. He was head coach there too.
Yeah, and I like the way the play calling so far in the first 2 exhibition games been different than it has been in several years. So I feel good about what North Turner's doing with that offense. Panthers won last week 27-20. This Friday night, Tim, they play those New England Patriots.
Yeah, that's interesting too. They're playing them on the third preseason game, whereas with the starters coming into play. So they're going to see a whole half of Tom Brady. So that ought to be interesting, Ken.
And they're going to have not only some young guys on offensive line, but defensive secondary. They got 2 rookies starting. Jackson is starting at cornerback, and then Godwin is the Galden is the one who's starting at safety because of Cersei, the regular safety, had a concussion protocol from the last game, and so they're down a little bit in the secondary. Interesting team, probably going into this season, the two weakest spots as far as depth. Offensive line and secondary. And that's where the injuries have hit. That's just the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, it is. You're right. I mean, speaking of injury stuff on offensive line, Cowboys has had two
I understand.
All-pro,
What's their status as far as their availability for
Zach Martin? Well, Zach is going to be fine. He went out. He got hit in the knee, and they thought maybe possibly that he could have some ligament damage or something like that. But everything came back, the MRI and all that came back negative, so he's fine. He won't play anymore till open season, so he'll be starting open season for the Cowboys there at Carolina. Frederick has had some stingers and stuff like that. Now here's the thing. And his back and his shoulder and stuff. Well, he's had that for the last couple of years, Ken, and he's played through it. So, but this year apparently it's gotten worse. So I'm kind of worried about it. He's the center, and the center is the quarterback of the offensive line. He makes all the calls for the offensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? So,
absolutely. The center is a very important player on that line.
And like they say, your center is the smartest guy on the offensive line. Is what I've always been told. And he's a heck of a football player. I mean, Travis Fred, All-Pro. And so, came out of Wisconsin. But Dallas has got depth on offensive line. They've got, I think Looney could play. He could play center as well. So they got some depth there. So I'm not really worried about that. But Frederick, he'll be in that starting lineup come Sunday against Carolina. I promise you that. Now, surgery-wise, there's a chance that he could have surgery to repair it, to make it better. But if that happens, Ken, I don't know if it's a season-ending surgery, if it's going to be like 4 or 5 weeks or what. I haven't heard. I've been reading up on it. They haven't said. So,
I tell you, Tim, the offensive linemen, that's a tough.
They're tough, man. They
tough
get
position.
Head,
they
punched.
have. You end up with shoulder injuries, neck injuries, and of course knee injuries. And you got to have depth on the offensive line because you're gonna have injuries. You always do.
And they got depth. I'm not worried about that. They're a lot better off this year than what they were last year. And I'm tell you something, Cowboys been getting criticized a lot about because they won't go get Earl Thomas and stuff like that. Man, just stick with your young kids. Stick with the young kids and go through the draft and next year get you that safety. Go get that safety. He's going to be with your team, in the years to come. Dallas is building for the future. Are they going to make it to the playoffs? I mean, to the Super Bowl this year? I doubt so. Playoffs, yes, I think they'll make the playoffs. But next year might be Dallas's year in the years to come. And I read an article where they said that Dallas, somebody from ESPN, several people have said they think Dallas is going to win a Super Bowl within the next 3 years. And I tell you, if they get that safety, I'm still thinking Earl Thomas is going to be a Cowboy come day one for Carolina. And if that happens, whoa, man. But their defense, Ken, I'm telling you, I saw them play the other night. Their defense, I taped it. Ken, I'm telling you, got to watch their defense. Their defense, to me, is special. I mean, their linebackers, Jalen Smith.
They can stay healthy.
Lee. And
if you got Smith and Lee in the lineup, but they hadn't been able to stay healthy.
Smith he looks like a running back on the football field.
He's very athletic.
I'm telling you, Ken, he is a man on a mission. And Lee, we know what Lee is. If he's healthy, he's arguably Luke Kuechly of defense. You know what I'm saying? He's that good. So, but Jalen Smith, Ken, I'm telling you, he looked like he made 100 tackles in that game against I'm trying to think who they played the other night. I can't remember who they played.
Team they lost to.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Ken, it's preseason.
Oh, man. Yeah, they lost both preseason games. It don't matter.
Yeah. So y'all win in preseason games. Is that it?
Yeah. Well, we win 2015. We won almost all the games. But that's different.
Okay.
Oh,
but you got beat the one that counts.
Yeah, he did. We did.
So,
but I feel good about the Panthers. Offense, they got a lot more weapons and receiver positions this year than they had last year.
Happened to Carolina.
They've got offensive weapons, and they got Noel Turner.
That's the best thing.
That's it. That's
the best thing happened to Carolina. They got an offensive-minded coach who can teach you how to throw the football.
He knows how to use the weapons.
Well, look at the pass. Look at the pass. What he's had. So, yeah, that's the living proof.
My biggest concern is that offensive line with the injuries they've been hit with. That's my biggest concern.
Well, Dallas, same thing. The biggest offseason move they made was getting Chris Richard from Seattle, the defensive backs coach. I mean, he's turned them all the way around. So, Cowboys and Dak and Zeke may not even play Sunday night. They play Arizona Sunday night. So they may not even play, Ken. So
you don't think they'll play even in the third game?
From what I've been reading up on, Jerry Jones said that he's seen enough out of them too. Well, Zeke can't play at all. He won't play at all, I'm telling you. Dak.
That's interesting. He's not playing at all.
Maybe. Dak. Well, think about this.
Usually you want to get out there and get, a few carries.
Think about this, Ken. You got your two best offensive linemen. You got two All-Pros. One's Hall of Fame if he stays healthy. Maybe Travis too. Zach Martin and Travis. If some reason they're not in the lineup and you're going to be playing a first-team defense and they come through and hit Dak and hurt Dak or something like that, and that's your quarterback, or say Zeke gets hurt or something like that, you don't want that.
Yeah, but what do you do? Not play them at all exhibition?
You don't play them. No, you just, play other people, play your backup, stuff like that.
That's
Dak could be ready. Zeke will too. Zeke's on a mission.
Well, we'll see what he does this year.
I'll bet you one thing. If they don't play and don't play no more, you'll see them at Carolina.
Oh, I'm sure they'll be there.
Yeah, they'll be there.
And guess what? There's some guys there be looking for them. Mr. Keekley and those guys saying, "Come on out here, Zeke. Come on down through here. I'm out here. I'll find you."
Folks, Kenny's going to need a ride home coming home from Charlotte. So if anybody wants to give Kenny a ride, he'll be walking up Interstate 85. Moorhead Street. All right, Kenny. Some Major League Baseball standings. Boston Red Sox, Ken, 88-39. Yankees, 8 games back. What in the world has happened to our Yankees, Ken?
Well, they're not playing as well now. They're just hanging in there. Now, they're going to be in the playoffs, no doubt, but they're not playing like they were before. They don't look like they're having a lot of fun and stuff, and Boston is just cruising. Cleveland, Tim, beat your Cleveland Indians beat the Red Sox a couple of games the last 2 nights, but they're running away with the Central.
13 games.
76-50 record, 13 games lead over the Twins. In the West, Tim, 2 other teams with 76-50 records, Houston and Oakland.
Now that's a shock. I'm shocked about that.
At the top.
I'm shocked with Oakland, Ken.
Seattle 4.5 back. Oakland is the hottest team in baseball. They won 8 out of the last 10, and Tim, they just keep winning.
Wow. What's been the change, Ken? Is it pitching?
Everybody's contributing, and they made some moves at the trade deadline to strengthen up their bullpen, so they got a good bullpen. They got some young kids that's playing well, some veteran ones that's playing well, and Oakland playing good, and Houston's had some injuries, so they've called Houston, and they may go ahead past Houston. I mean, right now they're in the playoffs as a second wild card, but they may win that division. They've already called Houston.
I'm shocked about Oakland. I mean, Oakland's got a good ball team, but I'm shocked that their kids with Houston with what they got.
Yeah. Well, Houston had a few injuries, but I mean that's part of the game.
So wait a minute, Ken. The Yankees are 8 games back. Where are they in the wild card?
Well, they got the best record of all the teams that's not leading the division, so they're the first wild card team.
Okay.
They're pretty good shape as far as the first wild card. And the second wild card is going to come out of that West Division. Houston and Oakland, one of them will win it, and the other will be the wild cards, the way I see it.
So Cleveland's going to come out at Central, hands down.
Yeah, they don't run off and hit. They nobody catching them.
So let me ask you a question, Ken. You said Cleveland beat Boston. Can Cleveland possibly?
Hey, in a short series, yeah, Cleveland can. Cleveland got pretty good pitching. They got some excellent hitters on that team. You get to a short series, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
Yeah, pitching to win short series every time.
You got to have the pitching and the bullpen. In the National League, our Atlanta Braves 70-55 in the East, still lead Philly by 2 games. Now Atlanta lost 3 or 4 to Colorado over the weekend, but they've come back and won the last 2 games. And Philly's been struggling a little bit, so they're hanging in there with that 2-game lead. Young kids are playing great balls.
I heard Swanson hit 2 home runs, had 4 RBIs.
Yeah, he had 2 out.
Dansby Swanson.
Yeah, he hit 2 out yesterday. The young kids are playing good ball.
Now, is he the one that was #1 pick overall?
No, I don't think
was that? Who was that from Vanderbilt? Who was that from Vanderbilt? Did Swanson play at Vanderbilt?
I don't think he played at Vanderbilt. I don't remember.
What position did Swanson play?
He's shortstop.
I believe he was. I
No,
believe
they
it.
don't.
I believe it. Now I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Swanson might have played for Vanderbilt when they went to the College World Series, Ken. And I believe he was a shortstop. I believe he was like number one. I think he was top pick overall.
I don't recall where he was picked.
I have to find that out.
In the West, Arizona is still leading that West, 70-56 record. Colorado Rockies 1.5 games back, and the Dodgers have fallen to 3.5 back. Jansen being out at the back of that bullpen has really hurt the Dodgers, and they're in danger, Tim, of not making the playoffs. They don't get it going. In the Central, the Cubs with the 70-53 record, and the St. Louis Cardinals, who everybody thought was dead when they fired their manager, only 2.5 games back of the Cubs. In Milwaukee, 3 back. So, Tim, in the National League, every division races are up for grabs. They're all tight, and nobody knows who's going to win the division, and nobody knows right now who's going to be the wild cards, because it could go a lot of different ways. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams there, and we know there will only be 5 that will make it to the playoffs.
Ken, I'm trying to look at where Swanson played at. I believe he played at Vanderbilt. I'm pretty sure I'm not 100% sure, but I think he did, Ken. Let's see here. Dansby Swanson College. Let's see if it's Vanderbilt. I think he did. I mean, this guy was the number. If he's who I'm thinking of, he was the number 1 pick. I still can't. Vanderbilt College. Anyway, I think he played. I'm not real sure, but I know if he's the one I'm thinking of, he was the number 1 pick a few years ago, and when they went to the College World Series.
Well, he's having a great year.
Oh man,
a lot of the Braves are having a great year. They're year ahead. Everybody said with these young kids, next year. Well, guess what? Next year is right now.
Right now. I was gonna say right now.
So they're playing for it now.
Well, let me ask you a question: Are they good enough? To make make a deep playoff run if they win the? I mean, you look at the standings here. You got the Arizona 70-56 in Central, the Cubs 70-53, and in St. Louis they're 2.5 games back. Ken, we weren't even talking about St. Louis until a couple weeks ago. Now they're 2.5 games back. Yeah. So we in St. Louis always.
Have they got a chance? Well, if you look at the National League and how close it is between all the teams,
they can win a wild card still.
Teams, yes, they could come out of the National League. All those teams could come out because it's so close and competitive.
Everybody's 70 wins. That's odd. Think about that.
It's all close. The Braves did pick up another pitcher from Baltimore in a trade, Gosman, and he only gave up 1 run last night in a 6-1 win. So they've added a little bit to their starting pitching, and I think they'll be right there. They got as good a shot as anybody in the National League, in my opinion.
Well, I would love to see Atlanta, make it all the way to the World Series. Wouldn't that be awesome with that young team they got?
Oh, it'd be great.
You know who that team reminds me of with all the young talent? The Yankees. Back in '96 when they beat the Braves in the World Series, Braves had the veteran team, had the veteran pitching staff, and then also they were down 2-0, and then Yankees swept them 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, I'll never forget that. Yankees. Derek Jeter was young. They had everybody. It was a great, and then they went on that roll and they just dominated everybody in the game of baseball. Yankees did, but I'd love to see Atlanta. I don't know if they got the pitching, Ken.
Well, it's not. Their pitching doesn't look as strong as some teams, but Tim, you look at all the 8 teams here in the National League. I'm not going to give you any team. I think, well, these teams here, they've got the staff.
Anybody in the National League, like
anybody
you said,
can do it. It's up for grabs. There's 8 teams fighting, and only 5 is going to get in. So right now, we don't even know who those 5 are because it's so close.
How about your fantasy baseball, Ken? How you doing on that? I meant to ask you that last week.
I'm hanging in there at second place in one of them and about middle of the pack in the other. I'm not going to win one this year, I don't think. It's too far behind. But I've enjoyed playing.
How's your number 1 pick doing?
Trout's he's been on the DL for the last 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to hurt you right
So
there.
that hurt me because he's been out.
Have you made any trades or anything like that?
Nah, I hadn't made anything. Hurt his wrist, and so he's been out, and I think he had a death in the family. So he's been out almost 2 weeks since he's played.
Ken, I want to say happy birthday to my young man, Mr. Caleb Lee Johnson. 16 years old.
Oh,
Ken,
my
tomorrow.
goodness.
His birthday's tomorrow. He'll be 16 years old, so
You gonna let him drive one of them vehicles all over the place up there in the country?
I'm gonna let him drive anywhere he wants to go. Yeah, he'll be. I want to say happy birthday to my son Caleb. He's 16 years old. So tomorrow night. His sister and my son-in-law, his brother-in-law, and my wife, Tanya, and we're all going to take him out to eat. He loves Mexican food. So we're going to take him down to Gastonia and let him eat some Mexican, Ken. So
it sounds good.
Yeah, so he's excited about that. Also, Ken, NASCAR news. Kurt Busch won at Bristol Motor Speedway, and Kyle Larson finished second, Ken.
Yes, a big win for Kurt Busch at Bristol, a Saturday night race. Still, with 24 races in the book, 17 of them have been won by 3 drivers, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex Jr.
I tell you, Ken, those guys are just dominating the race world. You know that? I mean, just every week it's either Harvick or Busch or Truex.
Yeah, and it's this week it wasn't Kyle Busch, but his brother Kirk. So you got the you got the same names coming up every week.
I'm telling you, man, these guys win all the time. Panthers, they play this Saturday night or Sunday night.
They play Friday night.
Friday night, and they play New England Patriots.
Yes.
So Tom Brady and the boys come to town. Bill Belichick.
That's down here in Charlotte. So they'll play here in Charlotte Friday night. I think 7:30 is kickoff.
That ought to be a packed house, Ken. And the thing about it is, Brady's going to play a whole entire half.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe play more than that. He might. I think the other week he played a half and played into the third quarter a little bit, Ken. Yeah. So you never know about Belichick. You never know what he's going to do. So it ought to be interesting, Kenny.
And we're looking forward to it. You and I will be doing some high school football.
We'll be doing it. High school football.
And we'll be back next week to talk about high school football, some NFL football, and probably some more baseball.
All righty, folks. Y'all have a great rest of the week. That's Tim Johnson, Mr. Baseball, Kenny Link, right here in the Classic Ford Studios. The best in sports, WCSL. 1590 and 92.3 on the FM dial. See you guys here next week.
And uniquely local.
It's a community station.
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL Cherryville.
It's Beach Blast this Saturday in downtown Kings Mountain. Come see DJ Captain Ron and Mr. Mink, Mark Blanton, Swingin' Medallions, Too Much Sylvia, Gary Louder and Smokin' Hot, and Blackwater Rhythm and Blues. Bring the beach to Beach Blast 2018 from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. on Saturday, August 25th. Enjoy top names in beach music as they play in the new Patriots Park Amphitheater. It's a fun-filled day for the whole family with food, arts and crafts, contest, a Woody car show, and more. Kids will have a ball in the splash pad, giant water slide, inflatables, and more cool activities at Beach Blast 2018. Put 420 South Railroad Avenue into your GPS and spend a day at the beach in downtown Kings Mountain. Call Main Street Special Events at 704-730-2197.
WOHS Shelby.
NCN News, I'm Bruce Farrell. In Raleigh, the State Historical Commission recommending that monuments at the state capitol related to the Confederacy not be moved. The panel instead took the recommendations of a study committee, including...
And, well, thank you. Who are you? Well, I'm J.J. Wilson, and I'm the host.
For memorialization of a difficult era in NC history, and there should be additional monuments for underrepresented groups at the state capitol.
In order to present a fair and more accurate explanation of the Civil War and its aftermath in North Carolina, additional signage with historical facts and context should be added.
A day after his former lawyer implicated him in a campaign cover-up, President Trump lashing out. Here's AP correspondent Sagar Magani.
The president's accusing Michael Cohen of making up stories in order to get a deal from federal prosecutors, tweeting if anybody's looking for a good lawyer, he strongly suggests they don't hire Cohen. While ripping his longtime fixer, the president praised former campaign chief Paul Manafort, whom he says refused to break under tremendous pressure, unlike Cohen. Still, Manafort's conviction on federal fraud charges, plus Cohen's guilty plea, puts the Trump presidency on the defensive. Sagar Magani at the White House.
North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper says he will keep seeking federal aid for more than a dozen western counties damaged by flooding, landslides, and mudslides in the spring. Governor Cooper announced he will appeal the Federal Emergency Management Agency's decision to deny his request for a major disaster declaration for 13 counties. An attorney for the man charged with the murder and the death of an Iowa college student claiming the government is wrong in its statements that he is in the country illegally. The lawyer says Christian Bahena Rivera passed an E-Verify electronic immigration status check. You are listening to NCN News.
Play and ride for $38, an afternoon for only
the Smithfields.
Okay, here's a don't get any better. Smithfield's pork shoulder slow cooked fresh every day.
Here's better. Barbecue sandwich combo with fries and coleslaw.
Here's better. Barbecue platter.
Here's better. Combo platter with barbecue and that juicy southern fried chicken.
Here's better. The choices you love made fresh daily.
Break away from the everyday to Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue.
Walking to dinner is great.
With the new sidewalks, it's easier not to drive.
Check. Check, 1, 2, check. Check, 1, 2.
You want a bank that you can depend on, one that will be.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Check, 1, 2.
Yep. Got you. Check, 1, 2, check. Yeah, we got to hit record in the production.
You want a bank that. First Federal Savings.